And then Gabriel, who, through no fault of his own, commits one of my cardinal sins of quarterbacking, which is he's tiny.
I still think Kenny Pickett is potentially, number 2, unless they trade him.
Yeah, I get that too. I mean, listen, we got Dallas, Detroit, right? We've talked about with backup quarterback situation, the Raiders and their situation with Aiden O'Connell hurt now, right? So there's 3 teams right off the bat, just off the top of my head.
Breaking news out of Cleveland, and it's causing a stir. Word is spreading fast that Dillon Gabriel is suddenly catching the eye of big teams like the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys. After the shocking trade of Kenny Pickett, all the focus is now turning toward Gabriel. But the real twist. Sources are saying Shedeur Sanders could be only a few games away from locking down the role of second-string quarterback in the NFL. If that becomes reality, it would be a massive shakeup and a career-changing moment for Sanders.
Yeah, good luck, Browns. Good luck with the decision you're going to make. And Andrew Berry is determined to go forward with 4.
Yeah.
And it was just last week that Kevin Stefanski said that's not realistic. So, spirited conversations.
Mike Florio, a senior NFL analyst, has stirred things up by exposing a fiery debate inside the Browns front office over whether they should actually trade Dillon Gabriel. Florio warned that pulling the trigger on this deal could backfire badly, leaving the Browns weaker at the quarterback position with less competition. But at the same time, he made it clear this drama could open the door wide for Shedeur Sanders. If Sanders steps up, he has the chance to turn this into a breakout moment, proving himself in the NFL and possibly forcing his way into the spotlight as the backup quarterback every struggling team is desperate to find. Mike Florio also revealed that the Browns could be eyeing a trade for Dillon Gabriel after moving on from Kenny Pickett, mainly because Shedeur Sanders has become practically untouchable thanks to his massive fan following. Sanders has created so much hype that even mentioning a trade involving him could trigger a storm of outrage. As the debate grows louder with each passing day, Florio stressed that letting Sanders go would be a disastrous move, one that could turn the fan base against the team. That's why Gabriel looks like the easier piece to sacrifice, a move that might help the Browns survive the chaos without completely blowing up their relationship with the fans.
This is one of the natural and foreseeable byproducts of drafting him. He comes to town with a built-in fan base. The mouth breathers, as you call them, are in tow. Not that I called them that, but you called them that.
Yeah,
They're there.
Stephen A. Smith made it loud and clear that Shedeur Sanders is climbing the ladder fast, and the momentum behind him is becoming impossible to ignore. He stressed that even before the most recent preseason matchup, Sanders had already jumped ahead of Dillon Gabriel on the depth chart. Smith underlined that outside of a small hiccup last week, Sanders has been spotless, commanding the field, communicating like a leader, and staying locked in on sharpening his game. According to Smith, the Browns recognize they've got something special, and they're banking on Sanders to keep developing into not just a rising star, but a dominant force who could reshape the team's future. But Stephen A. didn't stop there. He made it clear just how quickly things have spiraled in only a week. He explained that while Shedeur Sanders had already been rising up the depth chart because of his raw talent and strong showings, the latest developments have completely flipped the story. Even with all the noise, Stephen stressed that the Browns putting their faith in Sanders now gives him the perfect chance to prove himself even more. This is his moment to silence critics, lock in his role as a key piece of the team, and show that he can thrive under the pressure while continuing to grow in this new spotlight.
So I think that when we look at it, he's going in there, he's working hard, he's trying to improve every day, he's saying all the right things, trying to elevate his level of play. And remember, up until this past weekend, we did think there was a legitimate argument that he should have been higher on the depth chart than Dillon Gabriel because he performed better against Carolina than Dillon Gabriel had performed in the preseason game against the Eagles. It's just that
Stephen A. Smith's take hits hard because coach Kevin Stefanski has clearly flipped his stance on Shedeur Sanders. Not long ago, Stefanski brushed off questions and even criticized Sanders unfairly, but now he's suddenly all in on developing him no matter what the outside noise says. This is a major turnaround, especially with Kenny Pickett being traded away, forcing the coach to shine the spotlight back on Sanders. The timing couldn't be more critical, and it shows that Sanders' strength, leadership, and natural presence are giving him a clear edge over Dillon Gabriel in this quarterback battle.
Concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to, and that's what's important to me.
Other analysts are now chiming in on Shedeur Sanders' chances of locking down the QB2 role, and many agree that Dillon Gabriel's size could make it tough for him to hold that spot long-term. Mike Tannenbaum acknowledged that Gabriel has had an impressive preseason, showing poise and real skill. But he also stressed that Gabriel's lack of height is a serious issue at the NFL level, one that could push the Browns toward moving him in a trade. No matter how much talent or technique a player has, physical limitations like size can become deal breakers, and in Gabriel's case, it could be the factor that costs him the QB2 role and ships him out of Cleveland. Nick Wright also weighed in on Dillon Gabriel, admitting the young quarterback has obvious talent and upside. But he didn't hold back from pointing to the glaring problem, Gabriel's size. Wright stressed that while Gabriel can't change this physical limitation, it remains a huge obstacle in his path to becoming a dependable NFL starter. Even though he's shown flashes of ability, that one factor could hold him back from real success. And when you stack him up against Shedeur Sanders, who has the natural gifts, stronger tools, and much bigger long-term potential, the gap between them becomes hard to ignore.
So if you want to start Flacco at the very beginning of the year, so be it.
Starting to the bye.
Right, or even less than that, but so be it.
Shedeur Sanders is clearly becoming the face of the Browns, while Dillon Gabriel looks closer to being pushed out. The front office might claim it's about talent, but everyone can see the fan pressure driving this decision. Cleveland is gambling big, and the fallout could be massive. For more breaking updates, rumors, and shocking twists, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.